morning, St. Peter's. We hit Revelation chapter 5, verses 1 to 14. And we continue in our throne room. Yesterday we saw the one who is worthy of all worship, for he creates all things and has given us all things. This morning, Revelation 5, verses 1 to 14. Have a read. And there's two things really to say here. We see this at the middle of the throne. We had yesterday this picture of the throne and this magnificence of the centre of the universe. And the tension has been built up because of all the creatures around the throne, the elders around the throne who cast their crowns before the one who's at the centre of the throne. And this morning we find out who is at the centre of this throne. And there's two major things that we need to look at the centre of the throne. And it's in verse 5. The first thing is, he is the Lion of the tribe of Judah. It says, "Do not weep, for there is one who can open up the scrolls, that is one who can judge. He is the Lion of the tribe of Judah, and he's conquered." And here we're reminded, remember yesterday I talked about God and his power, and we might think here is God and he's using his power to coerce and overcome and to conquer. But this is how he wins the war against evil and sin and death. Look at verse 6. "This is the Lamb. I saw one like a slaughtered lamb in the midst of the throne. And he took the scroll of the one seated on the throne." The picture at the centre of the universe, we have an idea of who God is and we think of God. But the actual reality is that we now find that God is the lion who has been slaughtered. He's the lamb, the lion and the lamb together. And so it says in verse 8, they sing a new song. Yesterday there was worship of God by singing a song about his glory and his holiness and his power. But listen to this new song. "You are worthy to take the scroll because you were slaughtered and you purchased people for God by your blood from every tribe, language, people, nation. You made them a kingdom of priests and they will reign on the earth. And therefore blessing and honour and glory and power to the one seated on the throne, to the Lamb, forever and ever." God, the point is God, in his power and his majesty and his strength, who created all things, has come down and he's lived the life that you and I could never live, and he dies the death that you and I deserve. And God shows that at the heart of him is sacrifice, and it's a willing, voluntary laying down of his power and strength in order to be overcome by death. Jesus dies on the cross for us, and he is conquered by death, but in doing so, he conquers that great enemy, death itself. In being conquered by dying for us, he conquers death. And it says there, he was purchased people for God by his blood, from every tribe, language, nation and people on earth. The message this morning is that at the centre of the universe is the God who is all powerful and worthy of all honour and glory and strength, and yet he's the God who dies for us, and who sacrificed for us and purchased us by his blood. And so this is the central message to Revelation that you must understand about God and who he is and what he's done. He's the God who loves us and the one who has purchased us. And he's done this through sacrifice, and so he is the God of love. And he's the God that will judge in truth and righteousness. And so the important thing to understand is you must turn to him and repent and come back and know that this God is wooing you by his love, and he's calling you by his side, because he's died for you and he sent his son for you. And he can't do anything more than sending his only son, that you would be devoted to him and turn to him in faith. And so we hear that the God that we worship, the one who is worthy of all honour and glory and power and strength, is the one who has given up his power and strength and sacrificed so that he might purchase people from every tribe, language, nation on earth, that they would all be united around his throne. Our message today is that at the centre of the universe is the slain lamb, the one who is sacrificed. The centre of the universe is sacrifice, and it's the God of love who loves us. And we'll see in the coming weeks that this God will open up the seals of judgment. And as we hear about judgment, there'll be some confronting things over the coming weeks as we read through Revelation 6 to 8. But know that this comes from the one who is at the centre of the throne, who is worthy of worship, who is worthy to release judgment on the earth, because he has already died for us and he has sacrificed for us. That's it for today.